Hi everyone, so today I'm going to demonstrate on how to do men's illustration. So just like last video, we're gonna do it the line first, which is the guideline. So start with the straight lines from the head, and then we start with the shoulder part. Try to get the right angle, and then also the hip or the waist. So try to draw the boxer or the underwear properly. Just imagine where it's supposed to be, and then also the knee and the ankle line. And maybe we should also draw the inside part of the leg, so we can at least imagine how big is the leg and how the silhouette will look like if they're not wearing the shoes or the clothes. And then sometimes we also have to draw where the arm is, so it will be easier for us later when we draw them in our own paper. So let's start with the paper. We try to draw the head first, and then we can do the neckline, the collarbone, and then make sure that we try to follow the original photograph, so it's slightly turning to the right side of the man. And then the most crucial part, as always, is the underwear part, because again we will most likely succeed in doing the right proportion if we get the right angle on the hip or the underwear area. So here we can see the boobs is slightly different from one to another because the man is moving toward his right. So we can tell that one boob is really closer to the hand and the other boob has slightly peak of the underarm area. So make sure that one boob is not really touching the arm, because side of his body and also the underarm is supposed to be seen slightly on the other side. So there is a tips on how to do the hand. The proportion is easier to measure by just checking where the waist is. So the middle part of the hand is most likely will end up near the waistline. So it's applied same both women and men. So remember the half of the between the arm and the hand is near the waistline. And then for the face, make sure that you don't add too much lashes. On the men, it's more clean rather than the women. And then the eyebrow is really close to the eye. And also there will be a strong cheekbone and also stronger lip lines. And I normally don't draw the upper lips lines, because if I do, it will be more like a woman rather than a man. And then we try to do the same way in the hair, just like the sample picture. And then later we can move on to the detail after we get the right proportion. So make sure if you do the feet, do it properly, or if you don't want to do the feet, you can just put the shoes on the feet, so you can choose between those two. So on the first draft, you don't really have to do it neatly, because later you can always trace this, so you don't have to erase the whole guidelines. But if you can do everything neat from the beginning, you can just erase the whole thing, as long as everything still look clean enough when you have to scan the final result. So again, if you are confused with the details, always go back to the previous project. We have several sample on the details of the man's body. So the muscle and all the details of the body, you can just go check on the previous project. And also make sure that you already draw all the details properly before you finally scan the final outcome. Now moving on to the second drawing. As usual, we do the guideline first. We try to draw the inside part of the body so we can tell where the boxer is and how the angle or the silhouette of the leg is supposed to be. So remember, by doing this, it will help us a lot in checking the right angle or proportion for our own paper later on when we draw them. So after this, we're gonna start to draw in our own paper. And of course, we already done the guideline just like the sample before. And then we try to make the collarbone correctly. And then the crucial part is the boxer or the underwear. And then later we continue to connect the line between the underwear and the body parts. So make sure the boobs angle are correct. Then later we can give the muscle detail after we finish the proportions. And then again, the portion of the hand, the middle part is always on the waist area. So make sure that the hand is not too long by measuring the middle part, which is supposed to be on the same level of the middle part of the waist. And then we can start to do the leg. We try to see the gap when we draw them before on the original photo. And one knee is actually a little higher compared to the other because he lifting up a little bit. And then we continue with the other part of the hand. So this time the position of the hand is slightly touching the body near the underarms. So make sure that you have no gap between the hand and also his leg. So after we get the right overall proportion, we can go back to the face. We can fill in the detail. So he's using a headband, so I try to do the headband first. And then I try to make the ear, and then the eye level is normally closer to the ear. And then I draw the hair. Try to follow the example or the reference photograph. And then starting with the eyes again, make sure that you do it balanced between left and right. So I always do it one by one, side by side. So I'm not gonna make one eyes complete, but every time I draw one thing on the left side, I draw the same thing on the right side. That way I can make sure that all the drawing are balanced enough. So for me to do the nose and also the lips is quite tricky, because when you connect the whole lines without any gap, and if it's too bold, sometimes it looks unnatural, it looks odd. So if you can see here, I don't really connect the whole lips together, so it's just a middle line, and then the bottom part and the middle line is not connected, so I give a gap. And that way the overall look of the face, the nose and the lips will look more natural and doesn't look odd. So here you don't really have to do the details. If you want to do the second draft and tracing the whole illustration, then there on the second draft you can do the detail more precisely and of course more clean. But make sure that you have the basic silhouette and proportion on this paper, so it will be easy for you later when you finally trace them.